terrorist groups enough for us to create laws that prohibit certain things? Because if we understand the workings, maybe we'll be able to make appropriate laws to stop certain things. For instance, who would think that you can actually round up 100 people who are suspected terrorists, which is very possible. There could be a group, it could be a sect, there could be whatever. If they're being brainwashed, you're in danger, aren't you? So do you think we understand the workings enough to be able to make appropriate laws to, you know, curb certain things?
I think the security operatives in Nigeria, we do tend to underrate the capabilities of our security agents or agencies in Nigeria. Yeah. I think the security agencies know exactly the workings of terrorist cells in Nigeria. They might not be able to implement or do the right thing or go about it the proper way as a result of bureaucracy, but they know. Every security agency in every country always knows these things. So what we need to do, or what I think we need to do, is find a situation whereby if there's a genuine commitment to addressing terrorism, I think that is the main thing. It goes beyond rhetorics of coming out on TV and saying we are committed to addressing to combating terrorism. If there's a genuine commitment to combating terrorism, leaders of the National Assembly, the presidency, should speak with security operatives, speak with non-governmental organizations and other stakeholders, and come up with a draft framework.
Look, let's take you back to this one just before we wrap this up, because the only court with jurisdiction for terrorist cases is the Federal High Court. And now they talk about, given the congestion you have in those courts, it's going to be tough for you to get anything fast-tracked. Yes. So this Terrorism Act, part of the shortcomings that analysts identified is this particular one. They think something else should be done other than the Federal High Court handling these cases. Well,
that would be huge. That would need to go back to the Constitution, because terrorism on itself falls within the exclusive list of the federal government. So by law, the only courts that can do that for now would be it's the Federal High Court. So and I think in most jurisdictions that run a federal system, terrorism always falls within the exclusive province of the federal government. So it is not, that's not the problem,
so
per se.
Well, what about the argument of having some sort of specialized cases? But you talked about having more divisions.
More divisions.
Would that necessarily address the challenge?
Yes, I think it would. The federal high courts today are congested also. So if you create more divisions, we're 170 million Nigerians. We do not have enough courts. That is just the truth. We need more courtrooms, we need more judges, we need more prosecutors, we need more competent prosecutors within the Federal Ministry of Justice. So if we increase the number of divisions, increase the number of courtrooms, and actually increase the number of prosecutors, competent prosecutors within the Federal Ministry of Justice, then to go a long way. And I think another thing I want to point out, it's high time we start empowering our prosecutors within the Federal Ministry of Justice. There are people who are on the government payroll. That's what they're meant to do. So instead of always retaining external prosecuting counsel, as is the practice today for corruption cases, there are people within the system that could be groomed.
Because they're being paid for it, whether they do it or not.
Anyway. They are being paid to do that.
All right.
So why do we need the extra millions you pay prosecuting counsels out there could be pumped into the Federal Ministry of Justice to train and recruit more staff? Like, how much is a prosecutor paid? The amount that is paid to one external prosecuting counsel can pay 5 prosecuting counsels in the Federal Ministry for 2 or 3 years.
Okay, we'll have to let it go there. Dr. Shimizu Afadame is a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on today.